Good evening and welcome. Footprint Enterprises presents Letting Go of Yesterday. It takes courage to do this. For some, it's not easy, and for others, it is. To let bygones be bygones and let it go. So, tonight we're going to talk about releasing what we've been holding on to for so long. Releasing, letting go of yesterday. Welcome. My name is Ivy Caldwell. I'm the founder of Footprint Enterprises, which is a faith based organization which helps those that are ready to confront their emotional trauma, pain, experiences from their past or what they are currently going through to help them to start talking about it and get on to the other side. I have some strategies that I will show you how to begin to start talking about what you have experienced in life, how to release it, how to forgive those who have offended you. I have created 5 steps to start your emotional healing journey, but I will get into that a little bit later. I am an author, coach, speaker. I am a wife of over 26 years, mom of 4 sons, and a grandmother. And once again, welcome. Letting go of the past, the past, the past, the past. All right. Don't let yesterday or your past take too much time out of today. You're so focused on what someone has done to you that you really can't enjoy today, your future. It's constantly there nagging you. Or you may tuck it away, something will happen, someone will say something, and it comes back. But I want to talk to you about relinquishing the power to increase trust. How about trusting yourself enough to relinquish it because you know that is the best thing for you? It affects your health, your mind, your soul, your spirit. When you hold on to and harbor things inside of you for what someone has done to you, it really affects every area of your being. And it's time to release that and let it go. Do you have uncertainty in your life? You're not sure of which way to go. You don't trust. You're not sure of yourself. Maybe you even blame yourself for what happened and how someone has caused you the emotional pain. It has control over you. Yes, it does. Because if you think about it, you get angry, you get irritated. If you see the person, you tense up. They have control over you. You allowed them to have control of it. Put it that way. You see them going one way, you walk the other way. You won't speak to them. They may speak to you. I don't know, or it could be the same. But the bottom line is that situation has control over you. And you're not at peace. It's hindering your joy, it's hindering your prayer life. You have this anger, and then that anger turns into bitterness. How does it turn into bitterness? You start talking to different people that have nothing to do with the situation to let them know so and so did this to me. so and so did, I wouldn't trust them. Then you start talking about them. But that's not good. It's not good for you or the other person listening to you. Now you're affecting their spirit and soul, and the person did nothing to them. Chapter Matthew 18 says, if someone has offended us, we are to go to them and reconcile with them first. And if they can't hear you, then you go and get someone else to come and to be in the middle. Someone that's not taking any side, but they're there to help you say what you need to say to the other person. So the atmosphere is calm, cool, and collective, and you get it all out in the open, and you come to an understanding and an agreement. And think about the worst case scenario. It's like, what are you afraid of if you do and let it go? Think about that. So, what's going to happen if you let it go? You will be at peace. You'll have a sense of release within yourself. But what's so bad that can happen if you release the person? I want you to really think about that. Will they not want to hear what you have to say? I'm trying to think. What can really happen that would be so bad that they can deny it? Their response is not what's important. What's important is that you go to them and say, you did such and such and such. You made me feel such and such and such. But you know what? I forgive you. I'm going to release it. Now the ball is in their court. It's up to them whether to accept it or reject it. And they will have to give an account for it, not you. We only have to give an account for our actions. The past is the past. It's past. It's over. We can't do anything to change the past. We can't do anything. The only thing we can do from the past or about the past is to learn from the past. Learn from our mistakes. Take it as a life lesson. A lesson for you to be a better person on how to treat people, how to resolve your differences, and makes you a wiser person. That's what we do with the past. We take them as life lessons. We're talking about letting go of the past. And what is keeping you stuck in the past? And that's what I mean, stuck. You see this picture? Stuck. Have you ever walked through some mud? You kind of do, it's sticky, isn't it? It clings to you, just like that offense clings to you, in your mind, your body, and your spirit. We take it on the inside of us. Are you the one that's keeping you stuck in the past? The other person has gone on with their life, not even thinking about you, but yet you are stuck. It's like you're in a time warp, a time capsule. You keep reliving it over and over again in your mind, or it keeps coming up in your life in different situations. You're the reason you're stuck in the past because you can do something about it. Are you fearful of your past? Why don't you get a notebook and write down What are you fearful of? Fear. You're full of fear and anxiety, no peace. What are you afraid of? Write that down. And as you're writing it down, look at each item that you write down. Okay? So if this happens, then what? If that happens, then what? So you're looking at what could be the possible outcome from each situation, and you think ahead of it of how you're going to deal with it. Yes, think about how you're going to deal with it. Are you stuck in the past from experiences that have happened to you? They have been so painful that you have no desire at all to deal with them. That is not a way to live life. Everyone in this world has experienced pain, mistreatment, some abuse, some neglect, and from family members. But you know what? When you confront those experiences, that's when the healing can begin. But as long as you ignore them, you're not whole and you won't heal. You have to confront the past experiences to get over them. And then, because of your experiences, there's a lack of trust. You will not trust anyone. And that's not fear to the other person. Why? Because they didn't do anything to you. Yeah, they did not do anything to you, and you're judging them according to what someone else has done to you. And that is not fair to them. So let's get unstuck from the past and move forward to the future. You don't want to stay there. It's a messy place to be. The emotions are all out of whack. A harden of heart. You become cold, angry, and bitter in a slush of emotions that you have to deal with and let them go. Don't stay stuck. God has so much more for you. What or who do you need to release? Do you need to release yourself? Because sometimes we could be our own worst enemy with the negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. Do you need to forgive yourself? Are you tired of being hurt, angry, and bitter? Aren't you ready to be living at peace with yourself, your family, and those that you come into contact with? A joyful life. That's what God desires for you to have. Not a life where you're all tensed up. Family, sometimes, you know, the majority of the time, we all come from dysfunctional families, and I'm a witness to that one. But we don't get to choose what family we're born into. God gave us the family. So if you do have issues in your family, have a family meeting. Come together and talk about it. If they refuse to talk about it, write them a letter. If they won't read the letter, you did your part. You did your part. You wanted to reconcile the family, but they're not interested. Hmm. Don't let it bother you. You did your part. I have, I know of people, have people in my family, especially the generation that came before me or from the South, where they don't talk about what they have been through. And when you go to the doctor, they ask you your family history. And these are things, whatever has happened within that family dynamic, these are things that need to be discussed so that you can share them with your family and the generation that's coming behind you. So there's no guessing game that nobody knows what happened. Our forefathers, they take these secrets with them to the grave. And that's not good. So you need to release your voice. And what do I mean by that is you need to verbalize what has happened to you or what's going on within you. Is there something that you need to share with someone? Do you need to release past relationships? You might have been in a bad relationship and they hurt you. You need to release that person. And finally, when you release them, you release your heart. Your heart will no longer be heavy with all of the past baggage that you have been carrying around for years of hurt. And all you have to do is open up your mouth and start that conversation. Now let's look at some scriptures. John 8:36 says, "Therefore, if the Son makes you free, you shall be free indeed." Now, my organization is a faith-based organization. And every time I stand before someone, do a video, there will be scripture. Because I know that there are a lot of hurting people inside of the church. They go to church every Sunday, go to church throughout the week, and they don't deal with their issues. But the Bible lets us to know that if the Son says you are free, you are free. And you should not let anything or anyone take you to a place of being in bondage because of an offense that you are unwilling to forgive them for. We are to be free, not in bondage. John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." Once again, Christians, saints, know the word, but don't live the word. Can't live the word. We know the truth, and the truth will set us free, but we keep living a life of lies. Oh, I'm okay. I got it together. It's going to be all right. Ignoring it is not going to make it all right. We are to be free. What separates us from the world? We're doing the same thing the world gonna do. All right, somebody hurt you, you're mad at them, you talk about them, you cuss them out, you get bitter. That's what the world does. We're supposed to be different and set a different example. Yes, we are. Ephesians 4:32, "And be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you." Yes, if you don't release the people, forgive them, Christ, God will not forgive you. Bottom line, there's no if, ands, or but about it, no matter what they have done. What did they do to Jesus? None of us have experienced what Jesus has gone through on that cross. He took on all the shame, the guilt, the pain, the anger, the bitterness, the sickness in his body on the cross. All of what you carrying, Jesus took that on the cross so you don't have to bear it. But you saying, that's all right, God, I got it. You gonna carry it. It's my cross. That's not the cross God intended for you to carry. No ma'am, no sir. He intended for you to release people and forgive them. Colossians 3:13, bearing with one another and forgiving one another. If any has a complaint against another, even as Christ forgave you, so you also must do. We must do. We cannot go around it, tiptoe around it, go under it, ignore it, blame other people for it. We must do it. We must forgive. Matthew 6:14. For if you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So there you have it. You have no choice, no option. You must forgive. You must release. You must let go of yesterday. If not, your trespasses will not be forgiven. None of us are so holier than thou that we're walking around living in this perfect world that we don't ever offend anyone. We do. And we want them to do what? Forgive us. So you offer your hands and extend the forgiveness to the people that have offended you, who have hurt you, abused you, used you, talked about you. Forgive them. It's not worth it. Life is too short. Life is but a vapor. You're here for a moment and you're gone the next day. Nobody knows when they are leaving this earth. Every day, people are dying. And every day you wake up is another chance that God is giving you to get it right and to live right. Let's let go of yesterday and move forward in your life. Move forward. Don't let yesterday take too much time today. It's not worth it. Look at all the time and the years that have been wasted. And sometimes, in some cases, it's just a little misunderstanding. Why? Because either side refused to come together and just talk about it. And it could have been done with a long time ago. But stubbornness and pride, no. We're to be humble and meek. We're not to let people bogart us and use us. But let's not walk around in pride. We know what happened to the enemy and what's going to happen to him in the future. You don't want to be in his camp when that time gets here. So stop wasting time and release. What have you gained from the past hurt? You know, God is a God of what? Life and abundance. So we know that the thief come before to kill, steal, destroy. But Jesus said, I have come to give them life and give them life more abundantly. But that pain and that offense has taken away from you life, time, the mental anguish, sleepless nights, tears, and you're walking around with this anger, hatred, bitterness in your heart. And who have you passed it on to? That's the question. Because if you have passed it on to someone, you're going to have to give an account for that. You've infected them with your anger and bitterness. If you did do that, you need to go to that person and tell them, you know what? I was wrong. I shouldn't have said anything to you about what happened to me because that was between me and the person that offended me. Yes, that's how you move forward by doing things the right way. Is there someone you need to forgive? It's that time. You spent too much time wallowing in it, in wallowing in the pig pen, wallowing with the pity party, wallowing with whoever will listen to you. It's time to let it go. But some people like to stay and have a pity party. You know what? You could be doing so much more with your life than sitting around talking about something that happened 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 years ago, a year ago, a month ago. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your physical body. Let it go, release them, and forgive them. And when you let a balloon loose, it goes up into the sky and you never see it again. And that's what we're to do with our offenses. Never bring it up again. Why? Because when we confess our sins to God, what does He do with them? He throws them into the sea of unforgetfulness. It's like it never happened. So don't bring it up again. Steps to forgive. All right. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to ask that person to forgive you. Don't go to God and ask God anything. Don't request anything from Him because your prayers are hindered because you have unforgiveness in your heart. The first thing to do is go to that person who offended you. Then you can ask God to forgive you. And He will because you're doing it in the right order. Then you need to forgive yourself. Don't sit around and let the enemy plant negative thoughts in your mind about yourself because God says once we ask a person for forgiveness, we're going to ask God for forgiveness. We're going to forgive ourselves. And forgiveness is a choice. It's a choice we have to make, either to do it or not to do it. Or do we continue to hold on to what someone has done to us? Or do we release them? You want to release them so that you can live a life in peace and freedom. And once you follow these steps, asking someone for forgiveness, remember, you ask them first, then go to God. Don't go to God first because your prayers are hindered, and God is not going to answer that prayer or honor it. Ask the person that has hurt you to forgive you and let them know you forgive them. Then you go to God, ask for forgiveness, forgive yourself, and remember, forgiveness is a choice. And once you do these steps, you can thank God that you are free because you're no longer harboring that in your heart. And it's no longer affecting your mind and your soul. It's no longer consuming you. And you're walking around with the anger and the bitterness in your heart. God desires that we be free. And freedom, it feels good. No longer bound by the chains holding me. This is how God desires that we be free. But it's the enemy who trips us up when someone hurts us, when we stay stuck in that place. But if we open up our mouths and release the person, It takes courage to do that, to go boldly to someone and say, will you forgive me? Or to let them know, hey, I didn't appreciate such and such, but I'm going to forgive you. Because forgiveness is for you, it's not for the other person. It's so that you can get the release within your soul and spirit. And I thank God today that I am free. Would there be any questions at this time? Tonight we were talking about letting go of yesterday. And don't let yesterday or those past offenses take too much time out of our day today. We can't move forward if we're constantly meditating on the past. It's like we're stuck. We're stuck and we can't move forward. Any questions? I thank you for joining me, Thalisa. I am just about finished.
Thank you. I've been enjoying the briefings that I caught there.
All
But
right.
forgiveness is so powerful, and I have to say, I myself have been through some things to where I want to be forgiven right away, but then I didn't forgive other people, and I'm not going to say that it took me a day to forgive them. It took me some years
Yeah.
to forgive,
Yes.
and I'm just being open and honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know that's not the way it's supposed to be, but
Right. We've all been there. I've been there. Yes, ma'am. We have. Yeah. It does. It takes time for some to realize, but it's like once you realize it and you do it, it's like, man, you get that release in your spirit. Or I should have done that a long time ago. It's like we
yeah,
waste a lot of time holding on to that. Well, all we have to do is release the person because God does not desire for us to live like that. Yeah, forgiveness is powerful. It's like we let the other person control us when we don't
mhm,
forgive them, but we don't see it that way.
right.
Yeah, because you tense up if you see them. You won't speak to them. You go the other way. Your whole demeanor changes. You've given them control over you, but we don't see that when we're in the middle of it.
So true. So true.
Yeah. Yes. Well, feel free to go back and review the recording if you would like. I'm going to post it on my business Facebook page. That's where I've been putting them every week. So every Thursday, I record it and then I post it so people can view it and see what Ivy Caldwell is talking about.
Well, thank you so much, Ivy Caldwell. This is definitely a really heavy subject and
Yeah.
very well needed.
Yes. Yes, it is.
There's
Yes.
so
Yes.
much unforgiveness and hatred and things going on in the world and, in our hearts and immediate places.
Yeah. It is.
So very well needed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I know when I did my course the first time around, and by the time we got to the last class, I told the ladies, I was like, you guys had the key all along, but you didn't know it. All you had to do was open up your mouth. Deliverance is in your mouth by releasing whatever it is. And they were like, wow. I'm like, yeah, you have the key. Yes. So these are some of the services that I am offering. I have an online course that I have created under construction for transformation, which shows 5 steps to start your emotional healing journey. And then I have a virtual course. All right. So there's like 2 options. You can go online and do it yourself. If you're not ready to talk to anyone, share anything, you can go to my website and get registered for the course. And it is locked, like every 3 days, a module will unlock because there's homework associated with it. I don't want you just to rush through the course like, okay, I did it. No, There's homework associated with it because you have to do some digging and some soul searching to get
Mm.
delivered and be free. I offer, or and then on July 13th, which is a Tuesday night, I'll be offering the same course, but it will be virtual if you desire to work with me. So it's up to the individuals how they want to do it, in the privacy of your own home, do it yourself. Or if you feel like you need help, someone coaching you along, I'll be there to help you with that through virtual. And that begins on Tuesday, July 13th at 7 p.m. I offer the one-on-one sessions, group settings, conferences, and workshops. And as a result of working with me, you will gain insight and clarity as we chisel away the past to discover the new you as you are under construction. It is a process. And I'm looking forward to working and connecting with those who seek me out to help chisel away the past to get to that future because we all have a bright future in front of us. And I know it may not seem like it while we're in the middle of something and going through things, but there is a future and a purpose for everything that we have gone through in this life. And this is the information about the course. All right. There is homework. And when you're working with me, I do check in on you throughout the week because I can feel what you're going through. When I did the first course, I would, get these headaches and I would check in with the girls and, see how they were doing. If you come ready to work and ready to talk about what you have been through, I'll help you coach you through this process. It's just 3 weeks and we meet 2 nights a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays at 7 p.m. And by the end of those 3 weeks, you will be on your way. You will have started your emotional healing journey. Any
Wow.
questions?
That one-on-one contact, that's wonderful
Yes.
because sometimes, you feel like that you going at it alone and
Hmm.
you may not always stick to it if you don't have somebody that's kind of there guiding you along and
Yes.
holding your hand. I like that.
Yes. Yes. All right. And this is my contact information. You feel free to call me, email me, or check my website out. Okay. I do have a course outline on my website. You free. You put your name in there, your email. You can get the course outline, download it, print it off to see what's being offered in the course. Or you can email me your questions, or you can give me a call, and I will be known as the exposer because we're going to chisel away and we're going to expose those demons. They've been hiding long enough.
Long enough.
Yes, let's get them out and let's be free. Let's be free in Jesus' name and stay free. And I thank you for your time. I'm gonna